Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Oh, hello. Yep, that was all on mute, wasn't it? Yep. No audio. You guys missed all that. That was awkward, wasn't it? Yep, new volume. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for that. Yeah. Yikes. How long was that on mute? That's a good question. Anywho, thanks everybody for tuning in. It is reading lip season. Paul can't hear you. No one can hear you. Your mic is on. Yep. You guys are on. There we go. We're back on track. All right, let me do that one more time. Here we go. Excuse my Guatemalan, everybody. We are 2 days away from the NFL draft. And again, now the Zack Wilson era is officially over. He gets traded along with pick 256, which is a seventh rounder to the Denver Broncos, in exchange for pick number 203, a sixth rounder plus. They save $2.75 million in cash. Broncos got to pay $2.75 million themselves. And I'm glad that we addressed that audio issue. Thank you, everybody, for the immediate response. Who knows how long I would have kept doing that. And I sent out this tweet yesterday, so it's the end of another Jets quarterback. Here we go. Let's just play the footage. Good night, sweet prince. Zack Wilson. Another one bites the dust for the New York Jets. I really got to get on my jersey problem. There's no question about it. But I suppose that's neither here nor there with what was going on. Absolutely brutal. But the point is that it's over. You know what? It is what it is. The number 2 overall pick, it was a sunken cost. It was time to just simply move on. And yes, Snowball says the graveyard's getting full. Rest in peace to the jerseys. Jerby, good question. We had 1.9 million prior to the move. So what's 2.75, 1.9? You know, take us somewhere in the 5-ish ballpark. We'll have to wait. I don't know if those numbers are official yet. Let me double check the NFL salary cap space to see if we are official yet on that movement. It normally isn't that quick, so we may not have the answer to that question. Yeah, it only gave us a bump of less than $1 million, so I'm not sure if that's accurate on over the cap. Let me see if Spot Track is on it too. Let me take a quick gander here on Spot Track's cap space situation. Yeah, no, Spot Track didn't update, and over the cap only went up $800,000. So I don't think any of that's right. So we TBD, we got to wait on all that. But long story short, What does happen here is a couple of things. First off, no QB3 anymore for the New York Jets. They do have the oldest quarterback room, that is Aaron Rodgers, who turns 41 in December, and you also have Tyrod Taylor, who turns 35 later in this offseason. They need a long-term developmental quarterback to be able to put in. We'll see if that comes on the draft. Is it a priority free agent? I would imagine they take a dart throw at some point. They got 7 picks in this draft, and one of those could go in that direction. I will also say this real quick side piece, because apparently this was a debate. A lot of people believe Zack Wilson is the worst draft pick in Jets history, and I'd disagree. Is he up there? Obviously. Yeah, terrible. Not good. But the guy I'd put number 1, who holds the crown, his jersey's in my closet over there, the OG jersey, the 5'6". That is Vernon Gholston, everybody. The Ohio State pass rusher who finished his career with 0 sacks. He didn't even stumble into one, people. Like, that to me is it. It's he is number 1. He will always be number 1 until proven otherwise, and for a lot of reasons. First off, a pass rusher not having a sack as the 6th overall pick. I mean, that's up there. Number 2, if you think about it from even a greater perspective, which I often do, the Jets went to the AFC Championship games back-to-back years in spite of Vernon Gholston sucking. Imagine if he's half the player people thought he was. Did the Jets go to the Super Bowl? Did the Jets win a Super Bowl? You may say, Paul, that sounds kind of crazy, but he was non-existent, obviously, as a big bust who never had a sack. But the Jets' defense was awesome. If they had this guy, which, by the way, when he picked out the 5'6", and I was seeing it on the field, it's the thing everyone says, looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. I saw the 5'6", and I'm like, oh, man, we got our own Lawrence Taylor here. This is spectacular. This guy's going to go wild. This guy's going to be making plays all over the place and sacking the quarterback and all these other things. So I had dreams of cottons and rainbows all in my brain of who it was, but unbelievable on old what Vernon could have meant for the team. At least Zack Wilson had moments. He had the finger point. He had week 4 of Kansas City this past year. We're like, oh my goodness, we got a franchise quarterback. Or random moments like that, the Tom Brady game against the Buccaneers until he blew it at the end on that 4th down play. But like, there were moments where like, okay, that's Zack Wilson right there. And the finger point, I'm talking about the Tennessee Titans bomb to Corey Davis touchdown. He had the rollout CG Uzama touchdown against the Lions, which was like the pro day throw. Like, he had moments. Vernon Gholston had none. Literally 0. I can't think of one play from Vernon Gholston's career that I look back on with any sort of respect or notoriety of any point whatsoever. And by the way, a couple of people are bringing up some other names. I just want to make sure that I make this clear. Christian Hackenberger is not on my list. And why is that? He was a 2nd-round pick. Okay, Jets have blown plenty of 2nd-round picks. And it is kind of crazy that a quarterback could never have played a snap for you. I don't even know how that's possible. Why not even try the car at least to see what the issue is? But that's neither here nor there, I suppose. I mean, how bad did he have to look in practice to not even attempt to try him out in a game? You used a 50th overall pick on him, for Pete's sake. But like I said, that's neither here nor there. But that's a 2nd-round pick. So it's almost like a prerequisite that the player has to be a former 1st-round pick, and then we start talking. So I see your Blair Thomases, Kyle Brady's, all these other guys. But yeah, to me, it is definitely 1,000% Vernon Gholston. He remains the king as far as I'm concerned. But to be honest, it's just kind of sad that we have so many choices, that there is actually a debate. That just kind of speaks to the sad draft history that exists with the New York Jets. And hopefully, it is what it is that, 2 days out from the draft, a entire show, or at least the headline, because of course we answer questions and we go all kinds of different topics every time we do a show. But it is fitting that 2 days out from the draft, we're having like this full episode on Jets draft bust / Zack Wilson and how everything played out. Naturally, there was a big story yesterday. But it, to me, is a cautionary tale. Dimitri Patterson, he was not drafted by the Jets, but that MIA guy of just disappearing is a strange story, Johnny. I will never forget. That was weird. And I was just so we see New York Flight Jets talking here. Connor comments in. Connor's like 12 years old. What's the biggest Jets draft bust in his life? Because like he's only been on the planet for a small 12 years. Zach Wilson's probably number one on his list. Like he wasn't alive to see Vernon Golston, so he probably has no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, Vernon would be up there. Yeah, that poor child. But yeah, I mean, I would just hope that this serves as a cautionary tale for the New York Jets and falling in love with certain things and overlooking other things. That to me is one of the most fascinating part about the draft analyst business. I bring on, and I have had the great pleasure. You see that intro video every day. Connor Rogers, Field Yates, Trevor Sikkema, all those guys are dedicated to the draft. All those guys are dedicated to the draft. And the thing that I find fascinating is, of course, they have all had misses. They've all had misses where they've, where they've like blown a draft pick. Like they said, oh man, this guy's going to be awesome. Oh wait, Darren Lee. I see you guys bringing him up. Darren Lee, the 20th overall pick, the linebacker / everything the Jets tried to make him out to be. Oh boy, Darren Lee's going to be a hit, and then he's not. And how these draft analysts learn from those mistakes. Calvin Pryor, the Louisville Slugger, baby. Sam Darnold, he's on the list. Boy, we can. All right, let me just see. Let me go Jets draft history here, and we can look it all together as we're going through this list real quick. But I do hope the Jets learn from their mistakes. Okay, so Zach Wilson, he's up there. He was terrible. Kai Becton, unfortunately, was terrible. But at least he had moments. Quinn was great. Sam Darnold, not so great. Yeah, backup. Jamal Adams was an all-pro. You got to give credit. Jamal Adams up there. Darren Lee, terrible. Leonard Williams, never the guy who had the number 5 overall pick. But number 6 overall pick, excuse me. But we ended up, getting to trade him. And then got some time from Calvin Pryor, the Louisville Slugger, god awful. D. Milner, 9th overall. Oh my goodness, he was god awful. He was at AFC Defensive Rookie of the Month at one time. Yeah, good time. Shelton Richardson was Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay. Quentin Coples, boy, that's a bad one. That's a bad one. At least he had, if this is right, he had 16 and a half sacks in his career. That's better than some. Better than some. Muhammad Wilkerson, I hate how it ended, but it started great. Kyle Wilson, terrible out of Boise State back in 2010. I don't care what anyone says about, not that Sanchez would ever be in the bust category, but I like Sanchez, man. He got us he was the quarterback of those 2 AFC championship teams. I will always remember him fondly. Yeah, Vernon Golston got number 1. Dustin Keller was really nice. Darrelle Revis, Hall of Famer, obviously. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Ring of Honor member. Nick Mangold, the Ring of Honor member. We're just continuing to go. Jonathan Vilma, one of my faves. I actually have his fat head somewhere here in my house somewhere. I love Jonathan Vilma. Dwayne Robertson, oh, good Lord, have mercy. Terrible. Brian Thomas, my boy. I love Brian Thomas. Not the LSU wide receiver. Apparently his father from Alabama Birmingham. Back at 2002. Santana Moss was a good one. And then we have our quadruplets in the year 2000. Sean Ellis, John Abraham, Chad Pennington, Anthony Beck, all very solid. Very nice. James Ferrier was a much better player for another team not named the Jets. I digress. Keyshawn Johnson, Kyle Brady, Hugh Douglas, Aaron Glenn. Hey, there you go. Lions coach. Marvin Jones, Johnny Mitchell. Oh, wow. Then the list just keeps going. Blair Thomas. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was god awful. And then now we're in the 80s. So that's a pretty good snapshot. Pretty good snapshot of what we have. Johnny Lamb Jones. That goes back even further. I believe that was 1980 for Johnny Lamb Jones off the top of my head. Avatal. Hackenberg was the worst because he never saw the field. Again, second round pick. Danny in real life, our resident Buffalo Bills fan, just goes to show it doesn't matter. The front office administrates the franchise. Now, if I went through Buffalo Bills history, I'm sure I'd come up with a lot of names. I think people mess up. Now, quarterback-wise, Jets really have an unfortunate, tragic history there. Johnny said somehow this has turned into a sad draft show. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Anywho, we'll get off that. We'll get off that. We should be excited. We should be fired up about the draft. But right now, anywho, we don't know the salary cap ramifications for the Jets, but it should be 2.75 on the 1.9. That should be ultimately the cash savings for the New York Jets. So we'll keep an eye on that. They might need a few more shekels to finish off paying the draft class. So we'll see what other moves come up before we get to that point. So TBD on all of that. But the long and short of it, getting away from the sad Jets draft show that happened here, is ultimately Zack Wilson is gone. I think the Jets would stand to benefit by having a young quarterback in the room. Because who knows how long Aaron Rodgers is going to be here. But Aaron Rodgers has seen things. Tyrod Taylor has seen things. Aaron Rodgers has been at the top of the game. 4-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl champ, all that stuff. Tyrod Taylor's just been around the league. He's been on a bunch of different teams throughout his career, whether it's the Giants, the Bills, the Chargers. He's just been around. He's seen things. And it'd be cool to get that perspective in the room as well. So I hope that the Jets do take a young guy. And is he going to turn out to be Brock Purdy or Tom Brady? I got no freaking clue. But you don't know unless you take one of those guys and just keep taking dart throws. The Jets say, oh, they want to be this quasi-quarterback factory trying to develop talent. Well, the only way you could do it is by swinging the bat. And who cares? You got 7 picks. Figure it out, man. Figure it out. That's where I stand on all of it. That's where I stand personally. Who cares? Just take some dart throws, bring some guys in, and let's make some magic happen. But, with Zack Wilson gone, I think you do want a young guy. And I'm also glad that this doesn't have to drag on any further, to be honest. I know Woody Johnson said, hey, he's an asset, and we're going to maximize that asset. I'm like, oh boy, okay, here we go. But after the draft, if they would have taken a quarterback, it would have been very awkward. There would have been 4 guys, Rodgers, Tyrod, Zack Wilson, rookie. Ugh. You don't want it to get weird. And Zach Rosenblatt gave a huge tip of the cap to him from The Athletic. He had been calling the Broncos for weeks, months maybe. Where he's been saying Denver Broncos are the most likely situation. We will see. Was it the Jets or Sean Payton, who obviously, by paying the 2.75 he did, which isn't a lot, and someone said it earlier, that says a lot that the Jets had to slap a 7th just to get a 6th. That's true. But Sean Payton believes he could save Zach Wilson. As an offensive wizard, he believes that the Jets are the screwed up ones, and he can bring Zach Wilson into his domain, and he can fix what the Jets couldn't. Maybe he can. Maybe he can't. But we will see. And to be honest, it works out great for Zach Wilson. I don't know how many people are rooting for Zach Wilson in here, but I'll say I am. Sure. Go ahead, kid. It is what it is. It didn't work out here. Go to Denver. Go figure it out. He's got a path to a starting gig. Ben DiNucci? Jarrett Stidham? Come on, man. That's the best he could have hoped for. It's not like he's going to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to duke it out Patrick Mahomes. No, you ain't. Okay. Going over to Denver. We're getting an offensive guy. Got Cortland Sutton. Okay. Got Javonte Williams. Got a little bit of talent there. An offensive guy. Maybe all that can figure it out. So I'd be kind of curious. See what happens there. So Sean obviously believes he can, or he wouldn't have paid that 2.75. He would have waited for the Jets to hold out and cut him. And then he didn't. He dipped his toe in the water. So I'm really fascinated by that. All right, let's look at some questions here. Roger says, draft that kid Knobles. I'd love to kind of develop him in the quarterback room. That'd be great. That would be wonderful. Let's see. Jared B says, Denver drafted a quarterback in the first round. Zach Wilson ain't starting. They don't have a second-round pick. I don't know how they're moving up, unless they just pull the trigger and take Penix or Nix at 12. I don't think that's happening. So maybe you're right, but we'll see. Avatar. Spencer Rattler would be a disaster here, especially if he sits for 2 years. I don't know how sitting could hurt anybody. It's not like he's like a bad case of leftovers getting to rot. I'd be kind of intrigued. Spencer Rattler's really talented. He's got a lot of stuff to his resume, to say the least, but I'd be kind of curious. Shadow Realm, part of our Boy Green Superfan Club. By the way, to the 300 plus people that are watching right now, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe down below. We appreciate you. Shadow Realm says, also, if you'd like, that's a free way everyone can contribute that's watching the show. But if you want to go the extra mile, the little money sign in the bottom right-hand corner on YouTube is how you can join the Boy Green Superfan Club, where you can give a small membership fee every month to help support the show. We are live every single day, baby. Okay, back to Shadow Realm, who is a part of that special elite group. Jets will only get better in the coming weeks. I'm pumped. 100%, as am I. And I think I said it yesterday or the day before. The Jets are a championship contending roster right now. Right now. I love the draft. I can't wait for the draft. We've been talking about the draft for months. I've got mock drafts and all kinds of other notes and quotes. Me and Woody, 3 o'clock today, we're doing another mock draft. And this one is when we're the GM. And I'm just going to let you guys know, I'm about to cook. I am about to cook. You're going to want to replace Joe Douglas with me by the time that draft's over at 3 o'clock. I got some notes. I got some plans. So just, guys, keep an eye out for that. Live, 3 o'clock. I fix the New York Jets. I make them from a Super Bowl contender to a Super Bowl contender that's even better. So keep an eye on that. That's coming up at 3 o'clock. But yeah, they're only going to get better. I think that if they lined up right now, okay, the football season starts on April 23rd. Let's go. I think the Jets could compete for the AFC's title. I think they could compete for the playoffs. I think they could compete for a Super Bowl. But this draft is going to add a little bit of cherries, a little bit of whipped cream on top of that pie. Get me a developmental quarterback. Get me another wide receiver. Get me another offensive lineman. Get me a few shekels on defense. Maybe a safety. Maybe an interior defensive lineman. I don't know. Maybe a corner if you want. Linebacker maybe. I don't know. A couple of pieces. And then there will be some veterans, I'm sure, before training camp. Hey, let's ring chase, baby. Want to come on over? Come on down. Price is right. You know, David Bakhtiari, come on down. He's like, he's kind of doing his sprinting down. David, welcome to the show. That's it. Or whoever else wants to come along for the ride. Toot, 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 toot. Let's see. Avatar, Quinyon Mitchell will definitely be a trade-up guy for teams between 15 and 25. I've heard the Eagles are all in. Colts could be. They need a corner. They're at 15. Oh, yeah. Could move up for Quinyon Mitchell. Keep an eye on that. That could be a move. I've been listening to all kinds of first draft podcasts. I'm trying to absorb as much information as I can. Sergeant CVO on YouTube says, can't wait to hear Bowers or Adunze at 10. Give me that pass catcher, baby. Give me that pass catcher. Johnny says, Borgen, would you say 2000 was our best draft class? Well, that one had the 4 first-rounders. That had Lavernius Coles in the 3rd. That'd be up there. Now, the benefit of 2000 to, let's say, 2022 is their careers are finished. We know how all of that played out. So that part helps them. So probably until proven otherwise, I think 2022 has a chance for Sauce being a first-team All-Pro in his first 2 seasons. Think about the 4 locks, right, that were first-rounders, okay? So Anthony Becht had a very respectable, 10-year NFL career. Tip of the cap. Chad Pennington, one of our best quarterbacks in franchise history, and the second most accurate quarterback in NFL history. Okay, Chad Pennington certainly up there. John Abraham was a dynamic pass rusher that was a borderline Pro Football Hall of Famer. Okay, that one's pretty good. Sean Ellis was a Ring of Honor type pass rusher for the New York Jets. So the Jets, current Jets, like 2022, have a very long way to go to equal just that. Plus, throwing Lavernius Coles, one of my favorite Jets, to get there. But the Jets are in a good position because Sauce Gardner is the number 1 corner in football, and the arrow is pointing up. Garrett Wilson is probably a top 10, top 12 receiver, but he needs the numbers to go up higher, to be honest with you. He's probably somewhere in that range. I think he has the talent and everything else to be much higher, but the numbers are the numbers. He has to be higher, statistically speaking, but Garrett has a chance to be up there. Jermaine had a nice pop, a breakout last year. Can he break out to another level? Brees Hall was phenomenal. Could be the best running back in the NFL. He could prove that to be true. I would still give the tip of the cap to Christian McCaffrey right now, but you could make a very compelling case for Brees. That's possible too, sure. Rattler's going in the 2nd. Lawrence Ian says, "Wow, that'd be a stunner if he goes there. Maybe it can happen. Quarterbacks are quarterbacks. If we get this crazy run, it's definitely possible." Phil says, between love seeing the Knicks win and LeBron lose, great games last night. I would have preferred to see the Lakers win just because it extends that series. I don't want Denver to just get juiced. But, yeah, the Knicks thing was awesome. To be down, whatever it was, 5 and hit back-to-back triple tries to get the Mike Breen double bang. Bang! Bang! Oh, that was nice. Yeah, shout out to all you Knicks fans, you crazy bastards. Yeah. let's see. Avatal says, I think Rattler ends up with the Rams. We'll see because they got Matt Stafford. They've got that Stetson Bennett kid. They have another quarterback on that roster where my brain's not working, whether it's not Carson Wentz. They have someone else there too. So, well, maybe that could be. He's the best quarterback secret is Spencer Rattler. Interesting. Rest in peace, mock drafts. Roger F. Good riddance. He is done. I really enjoy the mock drafts. I enjoy them. I know it could be overkill, especially on a show like mine where we do them every day, so I can understand that. But I enjoy the process. I enjoy trying to absorb as much info as possible. Yeah, Snowball says, looking forward to the 1JD episode this season. We are having one. I think it's later today. It's Flight 24 or whatever they're calling it this time. The Jets have a documentary coming out on their YouTube channel. And I loved it. They used that clip that I had on Twitter where Louis Riddick, the ESPN guy, former NFL person, he goes, do Jet fans really think, do they really think after what happened last season that they can go and win the Super Bowl? And then I love Bart Scott saying, like, he responds eventually going like, they can beat anybody. I love that. I love the hate. I absolutely do. I know some Jet fans are negative or pessimistic by nature, and maybe they're more down in the dumps. For me, of course, we can win the freaking Super Bowl. I 1,000% believe that. 1,000%. So yeah, Louis Riddick. I said the Walter White line. You're goddamn right. Breaking Bad style, Walter White. That line. You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. I do. Richie B. If either you or Woody trade back and draft Mims at tackle, it is an automatic F. He is destined for IR repeatedly. I'll be honest. I'm just going to lay it out on the line. My plan is to trade up and be aggressive. This is kind of my plan, and I'll just reveal my cards here for our draft at 3:00. My mindset going into it. The fact of the matter is, the Jets, with all due respect, I don't think have 7 spots on the roster up for grabs. I don't. The Jets have 7 picks in this draft. I don't think they should make 7 picks. I think they should make 5, maybe 4. You need quality over quantity. The New York Jets boast one of the best rosters in football. There ain't a lot of spots available. So instead of bringing in random scrubs, bring in elite talent. Be aggressive. Trade up in round 1. Trade up from round 3 to the round 2. 72 into the second. Let's get frisky. Let's do something. Maybe even friskier. You guys may have to tune in at 3:00 to see what I'm talking about. But I'm just saying, let's get frisky. Let's get aggressive. Let's make moves. Again, with all due respect, there ain't 7 spots open on this team. You'd be wasting them. You'd be Idzik 12ing them to take them all. Don't. Quality over quantity. That's my plan. So Woody normally has been a trade back guy. We'll see if that's the case at 3:00. But for me, I'd trade back if I don't have the players I want on the board. But I'm not just trading back for, giggles. That ain't me, man. I'm being aggressive. I'm trading up. I'm moving on up. Grab the family. Hey, grab the luggage, kids. We're moving up. We are moving up. That's my plan. We'll see. John Sauer. People are jumping on the Latham train ahead of Vault with a couple days left. John, I'm telling you, man, there is a chance that the 5th overall pick is J.C. Latham. I think that can happen because Joe Alt is a left tackle. Chargers have a left tackle and Rashawn Slater. If they don't believe Joe Alt can make the jump from left to the right side, I'm telling you that I think for sure J.C. Latham could be that surprise. You're like, no friggin' way. And it ends up happening. So I would just keep that in the back of your head, people. It's possible that he could go there. Let me go to Mitch here. Adunes is a great prospect, but he needs polish, in my opinion. Not all his fault. He did what they asked of him. Neighbors is Wilson 2.0, complete package. Yeah, he's dynamic. There's an explosive quality, obviously, to Neighbors that some of the other players don't have at the top. So that is wildly intriguing. We'll see. Marvin Harrison, to me, I just think just has a really high floor. you just know what the heck he is. And that really, in draft, we started off the show with all these busts. In this world of bust, to just know automatically that the floor is here and the ceiling is still up, but to know that you know what you're getting at a bare minimum. He seems to me to be blunt. Marvin Harrison Jr., one of the safest players in this draft, because I just feel so confident of what he is. There's no projection. I know exactly what he did in college and exactly what he's going to do in the pros. Sometimes draft guys are like, oh boy, boomer bust. He could be this, but he might be that. Like, there's none of that with Marvin Harrison. So Neighbors is explosive. That's really intriguing. I just love Odunze, to be honest. I just think the criticisms that were there about like separation, there are plays all over his career where he showed separation with either he's a former high school sprinter. He has a few deceptive moves in his bag where he could kind of fake them out and get going. So I don't know about the polish. I think I see a lot of polish already. Man, there's just a lot of things I like about him, but the good news is that no matter where you stand, I think the top three receivers separate themselves from the rest of the pack. I can make a compelling case for any of the top three. My favorite of the three is Marvin Harrison Jr. And if you can't get him, the guy I like is Rome Odunze. But again, Neighbors is fun. He's explosive. Paul Aston Sr., my father, Zack Wilson selection and his exit is top 5 embarrassing drafts. So the Jets. Broncos allowed them to save face by throwing them a 6. Hey, you could take him. We will pay his salary and give you a pickup. Yeah, a lot of people said, my old man here, my father, joining us on the show, that the Jets would have had to slap, like, they don't have a 5th, but they would have had to slap a 5th, send it to the Broncos, and the Jets get a 6th or 7th back in return. Like, they take a loss and they pay most of the money. So the one thing is, yeah, sure, Denver saved them, gave them a lifeline, however you want to describe it. Denver gave us a better pick, so we jumped, like I said, 50 spots, and we saved some money. So, again, the number 2 overall pick in the initial investment was terrible, but all things considered, the sunken cost that it was, not too shabby for the New York Jets. I think the Jets made out pretty well, quite frankly. Phil says, I took a long break from the NBA. I think anyone who takes a break from the NBA playoffs is a different beast. Again, I will keep my fandom out of it because all you people will just throw rocks at me and you don't want to hear anything about my fandom of the team that I root for. So I would just not talk about it. But it's just fun. I will say, even putting my own fandom aside, it's fun watching the Knicks. My radio partner at the station is a Knicks fan. So it's cool to kind of rally around the Knicks for him, as long as they're not playing my team, to make things happen. And that's fun. Or the Nuggets buzzer beater or this or that. A lot of great games. So that part's exciting. But everyone can get down, get jiggy with some NBA playoff basketball, baby. Avatal says, Alt is my draft coach. Would love him on the Jets, but as an Iowa fab, in. Very nice. Yeah, Joe Alt is he's an intriguing guy. Maybe he slipped and slides. Shadow Realm says 1 JD Productions over Hard Knocks. I enjoyed Hard Knocks. I know a lot of people didn't. But to be honest, I'm really intrigued. I really love 1 JD. They've done well for me of doing the Jets Die Hard episode and everything else. I just really enjoy the product. Jet fans are lucky to have something like this. Not every NFL team does. Richie B, only day 3 quarterbacks with upside are Pratt, Travis, and Leary. Yeah, Leary is one of my faves, to be honest with you. I like Devin Leary out of Kentucky, formerly of NC State. He had that one great year that I think I could get the juice out of if I'm a team. I saw that, whatever that season was, like 35-5 touchdown interception ratio. It was something like that in his sophomore year. And I know we haven't seen it since, but it was there on tape. I think he could get that out. Pratt's really intriguing. Travis, sure, out of Florida State, and Pratt out of Tulane. There's a lot to like there. My lean is Leary. If I have that opportunity later today, I will take it. Avatar says, as an Ira fan, I'm curious, Cooper DeJean. Yeah, we'll see with the medicals. We'll see with the medicals. I've heard first. I've also heard second. So hopefully he goes to like the Eagles. That'd be a fun landing spot. Okay, let me see here. All right, we'll get back to your questions here in a second. We have a YouTube super chat just coming in here. Let me scroll on down to get to that. It skips the queue, baby. We have Edward. Oh, whoops. Here we go. Edward Ziff here joining us. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Blair Thomas was worst pick by far. RBs are supposed to be great instantly, and he sucked, especially during that time frame. We're talking about the 90s. So, yes. Yeah. So there's a compelling case. There's a compelling case for that. Running backs were supposed to be the instant thing. Those were the days of Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders and, go through your favorite 90s running back, Curtis Martin in the 90s too. Go with your favorite guy. They were supposed to be instant and suck. So there's something compelling. Let me see. What were the final numbers? That's what I want to check on Blair Thomas, who, by the way, wasn't he just at MetLife within the last couple of years and was signing autographs or something? So let me see. What was the final Blair Thomas stats, the former Penn State running back? Like, here's the thing. So he was terrible, okay? But to be honest, as I look at his final numbers, he ended up playing 6 seasons in the NFL. He ran for 2,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4.2 per clip. That's not bad. Like, all of his production came with the Jets, and then he was just phased out of the league. 2,000 of his 2,200 yards all came with the Jets. So, yeah, those numbers aren't great. Yeah, I guess it's a compelling case. It's a compelling case, Edward. I'll give you tip of the cap there. I'm still on Vernon Golston, but I'll give you tip of the cap. He's in the conversation. There's no doubt about it. All right, now let me go back up here. Thank you for the super chat, Edward. Again, all super chat skip the queue, so feel free. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see. Trade back in a second. Whoa. Let me see if I can catch back up wherever we were. People jumping on the Latham train. Yes. McCarthy, Michigan. Yep. Is the hat I'm wearing a new hat? It is not. No, I don't have any, like I said, financial situation, not in any position to be buying crazy jet stuff right now. Got some taxes to pay and things of that nature. No, this is an old hat. I don't have, which again, I thought I did, the retro logo / new primary logo. I thought I had a bunch of, because I have this massive Jets draft hat collection, like I told you guys behind me. And I don't have any, maybe one, it's a flat brim and it does not fit, from my youth, of the JETS current Jets logo hat that's above my right shoulder, or beside my right shoulder here. So this is not a new hat. I've had this one. So, but I try to wear this one when I can. It kind of matches the, I'm wearing the hoodie that's kind of matching with it. Yeah, but it's very nice. No, so fingers crossed I'll get some of that. Let's see. Scrub's a top offensive line will not be a scrub. Come on. Well, people can bust. So, it depends on how strongly the Jets feel. I will support whoever the Jets draft, but to be honest, I mean, there's some onions we got to peel back here. Johnny, if we got Mims and Ladd McConkey, would you say great draft? I'd have to know the rest. Those two alone wouldn't do it for me. Again, I said quality over quantity, but not sure. Those aren't all my favorite guys. Okay, let me jump back down. We got another YouTube super chat coming in here. I love it, baby. Let me get to the current comment here from Nick. Hashtag get Paul the new merch. Yeah, people, keep the train going. I appreciate it. Yes, thank you, Nick, for the YouTube super chat and also being part of the Board Green Super Fan Club. Hashtag get Paul the new merch. Appreciate it. And I got my birthday on Friday for day 2 of the NFL draft. Like I said, right now things are a little tight with my tax situation. I work like a million jobs. That's the whole point. Not to give you my whole life story here, but I work a million jobs, so it's a lot of housekeeping. Tax time is hell. That's the simplest way to put it. But thank you so much, Nick. That's very kind of you. It's very kind. I will put that in the new merch bucket. We'll see how much. We got 5 the other day. That was very nice. I will put that in the bucket. Thank you so much, sir. Let me go here. Get back. Maserati Marv. Yeah, he'd be fun. Am I sad to see Zach leave? I think when something happens, it's like your favorite character dying in a TV show. Sometimes there's complicated feelings. I'm glad it's over because it was painfully awkward for everyone that was left. So on that part, I'm happy that Zach moves on, Jets move on. It's not going to be a topic after the show, I would imagine, much anymore. I'll probably have to write a few more columns for it for my site, naturally, heavy on Jets, which I did. I'd write Zack Wilson's mom's reaction, which was funny. Sauce and DJ had some jokes about it. So, like, yeah, there's a couple of stories I have to write. I'm sure in the next time the Jets draft a quarterback, Zack Wilson will be a part of that conversation. But in some sense, I'm sad that it didn't work out, obviously, because I had a lot of hope. You saw that little video at the beginning. I had that Zack Wilson jersey. So, yeah, I had hope at one time that Zach was going to work out, obviously. And I will be honest, that offseason, I wasn't initially in love with Zach. And then I got to speak to his BYU coach, Coach Roderick. And that was very enlightening. And part of the interview went viral because people questioned if he was a team captain. And that was right when I had already pre-scheduled the interview with Coach Roderick. I'm like, Coach, this is going viral right now. Todd McShay or Mel Kiper and Rich Cimini, they're all talking about it. I'm like, man, they said he wasn't a captain. Can you just clarify for us? Was he or wasn't he? And he went on this crazy rant of like, yeah, he was a captain. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm like, okay, well, that's right from the horse's mouth. The coach from BYU. Okay. And the interview went viral. They talked about it on like the Michael K show and stuff. So it was like, oh, cool. Okay. And I just learned more about him. I was like, okay. And then came to the realization, I think that's part of it as well. Okay. The Jets are getting Zack Wilson here. So you've got to learn to embrace it because that's how I feel. Again, I mentioned it with the other player a bunch of years ago, Josh Allen, the quarterback, who's now of the Buffalo Bills. I didn't want Josh Allen that year. I thought the accuracy is something that wouldn't be able to be fixed. He scared the hell out of me. So if they would have drafted him, I'm like, oh boy. But eventually you get over it. It's your team. Your fans are like, all right, well, this is our guy now. I'm not going to like hate him forever. That wasn't the pick I wanted. I could be wrong. I've been wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times. Josh Allen being one of them. So, yeah, in some sense it was sad, but it was time. It was time. It was time. Peter Campisi, what can we offer for a second rounder? Yeah, we can, if you want to just move into the second round, 72 isn't that far from the second round. You could probably combine, a 3 and a 6 and a 7. That could probably get you there. Or a 3, we now have 2 6. So any combination like that depends how high do you want to get in the second round. But the Jets could get into the second round. Absolutely. They have the capital now to be able to do so. And they had it before, to be honest, as well. Jared B. If Marvin Harrison wasn't Marvin Harrison, would he still be the top receiver? That's a really good question, Jared. It's a very good question because it's hard to unsee the name, but then the production has been insane. So I would say yes. Would he be the same level of hype? Maybe not because of the name. It's a legacy player. Marvin Harrison Sr., his father, was a Pro Football Hall of Famer, one of the best wide receivers of all time. So that helps, obviously. It helps the perception. And obviously, I'm here locally in Syracuse, where Marvin's senior, the father, went to school. So obviously, I'm affected by that. But it affects the perception for sure. It gives him more juice. Certainly doesn't hurt. But would he still be Marvin Harrison? Yes, I do think so. I think the tape speaks for itself. I think the production speaks for itself. I think if you go back to that C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, Georgia game where Maserati Marv goes out, and then Ohio State loses. They lose because they no longer had Marvin Harrison. So the impact he makes is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Richie B says, Maserati Marv is the only player the Jets realistically move up in the draft to get. Interesting. Again, I'd move up for a Dunze, but Marv's a fun one too. How could you be mad about that if they make a crazy move up? John Sauer says, maybe JD would move it to number 2 and take a quarterback. Well, that would... oh, kidding. Well, that would that'd raise some eyebrows. That's for sure. Wowza. That would. That would raise some eyebrows, which I'm all about. Bless me. Thank me. There we go. But that would certainly raise eyebrows if that happens. Jason Stallworth on YouTube. We need Joe Alt or Rome Odunze. If we can't get him, we need another good OT or wide receiver and defense player, safety, pass rusher, quarterback, cornerback, linebacker. Yeah, all of those are good. But Rome or Alt, that's a good place to start. Give me one of those two. I'd be a happy man. Let's see. Cooper. People want Cooper. Hawks fan. Okay, so we got different fans in here. Hawks fan. Okay. Golston's still number one. Yep. He's up there for sure. D. Milner, again, he's up there. Very injured player. Edward adds some context to his super chat. What people don't understand about Blair Thomas was he was a no-miss running back. He was awesome when he played for Penn State. He was unstoppable. He couldn't do anything in the NFL. I mean, nada. That's true. Yeah, that goes before my draft studying days of being able to fully understand the kind of prospect he was coming out. But wow. Avatal says, I love one of the top three receivers. We don't want Thomas at all. Yeah. Brian Thomas scares me a little bit. I'm going to be honest. Speaking of bust factor, some of the things that are wrong with him, it's either you're projecting to fix or you need a really good coach to mold. Jared B says you should put up your Venmo so you get 100%. That's true. YouTube takes that out. Yeah, what is my Venmo? Okay, let me put that in there real quick. I guess that's a good point. Yeah, YouTube takes some significant bites out of that apple. Let me see. I don't know. I think it's BoyGreen25, but I should probably check this puppy. Yes. Okay, there it is. I will put it in there, I guess. I'll put it on YouTube. It is at BoyGreen25. There's a weird picture of me in front of a mic. At BoyGreen25 Venmo. It's also my PayPal, I believe. But Venmo. There you go. Boom. Put it in there. Next, good point. Good point. Yeah, I'm sure YouTube does frown upon that. That's a good point. Never got into merch. I love merch. I can't buy enough stuff. Oh, you're going to get a new jersey and new hat. Nice. Yeah, it looks good. Mitch Staff. Will T. Higgins be dealt before the draft? Possibly. I think there's a chance. Ayuk, one of those guys. It could be if, the right combination happens. He could be. Brandon L on YouTube. Will McDonald's step up this year and be the Big Mac? We can only hope. Like a 10-piece meal, like a double quarter pounder with cheese. Running out of McDonald's meal items that properly reflect a promotion, an upgrade. I got to think about that one. Let's see. Let's go Knicks, baby. There you go. Very nice. Knicks, a lot of Knicks fans. Here we go. Yeah, that's right. If suddenly the stream stops or a minivan grabs me and throws me in the back, we know exactly what happened. All right, to end the show, we got 500 people in the room. I will throw up the YouTube join link for anyone who would like to get a final comment here on the program. It's a Tuesday again. We're 2 days away from the NFL draft, baby, which I'm excited about. The Jets are going to get even better, which is exciting. How we should feel about it. Okay. Let's go video call in link. Here we are. Boom. I've just put that in there. That is the now pinned comment. There it is. It is now the pinned comment on YouTube. Feel free to click on that if you'd like to call into the show, whether you are a regular caller. We have a lot of people that are regular callers on the show, or you want to be a first-time caller. Feel free as well. And as Big Islander fan says, how about some likes? Like the video. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit that channel. Also, like I said, the YouTube is open. If you're watching on Heavy on Jets, which again we appreciate, or Twitter at BoyGreen25, you have to click on over to YouTube, youtube.com/BoyGreen25 to make sure you're able to pop on the program. With that being said, let's go to that phone line. We've got Johnny minus a hat here on the program. What's up, Johnny?
What's going on, man? I'm about to clock in and go to work.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
I'm just kidding. I don't have a hat on today.
Oh, that's okay, man.
It's weird. Dude.
It is, yeah. I'm going to be honest. I did a stream once where I didn't have a hat, and people said, get out. Like, go get that hat back on, because it's just weird. So I said, okay. I listened and went and grabbed a hat immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, I copped the haircut yesterday, so I'm ready for,
nice.
For the day. But,
there you are.
Dude, 2 more days.
Mm-hmm.
All mock drafts are over. We'll know what the draft picks are. Knicks look great.
Yeah.
Mets are looking good.
Mm.
Allen's Islanders are upsetting him, which makes me happy. And my Rangers are doing well. So
Yes.
it's a great time, man. But I don't know, man. The reason I said the whole Mims thing and the McConkey stuff, because if we were to go trade back, that's one of the Georgia players that, nobody's talking about, but could potentially be something good. I know a lot of people look down upon Mims and whatnot, but I think Mims is a good piece to put behind your Tyron Smith or your Morgan Moses to be able to go out and learn. Because let's be honest, if we do get a tackle or whatever, are they going to start right away? You know what I mean? So, and if we could get and pick up the draft capital, why not? And get your McConkey a little bit, and early in the second, maybe jump back into the first. So I don't know, dude. I'm excited, man. I just can't wait already. Like, let's get it done. Knicks in 4, FMP. Go New York sports. Appreciate you, bro. You're doing your thing, dude.
I love that. Thank you, Johnny. And a shout out to, it sounds like your daughter in the back. Very nice. Shout out to her as well. Beautiful. Beautiful. That is beautiful. I will say on the Mims thing, the thing that intrigues me, if I want the good news, is I think Dane Brugler said, if you tell me in 5 years he's the best offensive tackle in this class, that wouldn't surprise me. When you hear something like that, you go, zoinks? What was that? Now, again, that's the hype. That is the hubbub. That is the ceiling, obviously. And when there's a ceiling, look down. There's a floor. And that can scare you. Again, the theme of the video was about avoiding the busts. So, that could be, sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit. Red John says, love your show, Paul. I want more streams. Okay, more streams. Well, we do one every day, but I will try to diversify and give you guys some more action. During the season, we'll have some post-game ones and mailbag ones during the week, so we'll spread the love, Red John. I will do my part to be even more out in front of you if I can. But again, every day, 7:30. Also, we'll be live today at 3 o'clock, so check out that one. That'll be my mock draft where I'm cooking for the Jets, baby. Oh, yeah. It's going to be the best mock draft you guys have ever seen. Prepare your eyeballs for that. Anywho, let's jump back over to the call-in line, which, again, is the pinned comment on YouTube. NY Jets FL joining us. What's up, brother?
Morning, Paul. Johnny, I didn't know Johnny was calling from the Arctic Circle or any little bundle up.
It was a tight hoodie squeeze. It was ET-like. I haven't seen a lot of people have it that tight. Like, my hoodie is, like, loose. If it's just here, you just kind of have it. I've got a big-ass headphone, so I can't put it on. But, it was very tight. It looked like he was hiding something.
Must be cold in Virginia today, lakefront. Must have a northeast wind coming off the lake there. Hey, Paul, yeah. I missed first part of your stream. We're not talking about Amarius Mims, are we?
That's what, not at the beginning of the stream, but what Johnny just brought up. He suggested if the Jets walked away with Ladd McConkey and Mims, he said, would I be happy? And I said, I need to know more. I did say at the beginning of the stream, basically, that it's aggressiveness that I want to see, and I'm fine with the smaller Jets draft class, 4 or 5 players instead of 7, whatever that is. But I want my guys. I want them. I want to know who the guys are. If it's Ladd and Mims, I'm not sure that's enough for me to just call it a win, not knowing the rest.
I agree. I see a lot of love for Mims. Maybe a little too much, because are we going to develop a tackle in the next 3 years? I mean, we may be, with a different regime. Most likely, may have a different quarterback. I guess it may need to have an offensive tackle to start. Is that a guarantee? And I've seen Mims. Sorry, Paul. I've seen Mims. He's got very nice. He's got good feet, length, athletic. 8 starts. Right in front of my daughter's high school. Horrendous Wi-Fi.
That's right.
8 starts for a guy, and we're going to take him around 12 to 15. I understand the theory, but I'm not. I'd rather have a more established player and have him plug and play if we're going to go that route.
Yeah, and also, I think it was on Dom C's draft, although we're probably mock draft out, and I think we just lost NY Jets FL from Signal. He just dropped out. But the thing I would just like to say that I'm cool with the trade. Again, my plan is aggressive trade up. But if the Jets do something that's not what I said, shame on them. But in all seriousness, if you trade back in a second, that could be interesting. And no, that's okay. Wi-Fi situation there for NY Jets FL. But I would just say I don't want to trade back for the sake of trading back. Like, let's just trade back to trade back, and then you miss out on key players because this is an all-in year, and you want to focus on all-in. Draw the line in the sand on who those players are, and make sure you get one of those players, whoever they are, whether it's trading up or trading down. So that would be the only thing that I would say there. Is I think if you trade back too far and you're in the Mims situation, although he had Fatanu on the board, so he could have went in that direction, but I think he was diversifying it a little bit. Like, that's the part where I just want to make sure. But I do want to get to Roger F's point, which is fantastic. I saw that. This is the same thing. If Atlanta loses first round pick for tampering, Jets might move up to spot to 9th overall. Long story short, for people who missed it, the league is seemingly going to come down pretty hard on the Atlanta Falcons and the Kirk Cousins thing. Is it going to affect them in 2 days draft time? We will see. Adam Schefter said we could get news on that soon. Obviously, that'd be huge because to be able to bump up to 9 would be awesome. Now, the only bad part is that, Atlanta, it could be a trade partner with the Jets. So we'll have to see. We have, by the way, outside, unless Roger F knows something I don't, this is wild speculation. We don't know what the punishment would be for the Kirk Cousins thing outside of Schefter saying it could be, he gave some significant examples from the past. So we don't know what the punishment could be, but it's possible, potentially, that the Jets benefit moving up a pick. But to be honest, Atlanta's taken a defense player anyway, so I don't know if that dramatically changes the picture. I think it just potentially hurts the Jets, quite frankly, because you take a – let me reset that. It can be good because now Atlanta can't trade that pick to someone not named the Jets. So that would be good news if that were to happen. So I guess ultimately it's good because the Jets move up a spot. But will Chicago trade with you? Will whoever that would be? Because 7 would still be Tennessee. So 7-8 is how it would work. It would be interesting. We'll see. That would be an aggressive punishment 2 days out from the draft. Oh, yeah, you don't have a top 10 pick. So I don't know if we go that far. I'm sure it would be stunning if that were to happen. But it's a good point, Roger F. No one's talking about that at all. And, for reasons we should probably investigate. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for the show. Thanks to the 500 people. Thank you for anyone who is reaching out on Venmo. Very nice. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I love Shadow Realm's new logo, from Yu-Gi-Oh! Shadow Realm to the new Jet logo. I don't love that Jet logo in particular, but hey, yeah, that will diversify you from the group. That's for sure. No question about it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, we'll be back live at 3 o'clock. Me and Woody are doing a mock draft where we're the GMs. Screw predictive. We're not trying to predict what's going to happen. We're just telling you what is going to happen in terms of what we would do in those situations. We're not trying to predict what the Jets would do. We're just going to do what we're going to do. That's coming up at 3 o'clock. Hopefully, you guys can join us for that. Make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe down below. And what is today? Tuesday. Then another Boy Green Daily tomorrow morning. And even closer and closer to the 2024 NFL Draft. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of this show. It's awesome. We love you, and can't wait to do this again. So we'll see you in a couple hours. Take care. Be safe. And go Jets.